What if I told you that making a man truly addicted to you has nothing to do with how you look, what dress you wear, or how perfect you try to be? What if it came down to just a few subtle behaviors that, when you use them, make him feel something he can't explain, but he can't live without? Most people think attraction is about instant chemistry, but the truth is, what keeps him hooked is far deeper. And today, I'm going to reveal 3 beautiful behaviors that make a man not just like you, not just want you, but feel like you are absolutely unforgettable. Think about this for a second. Every man, no matter how confident he looks on the outside, is walking around with a quiet question inside. Do I matter? Do people really see me? The truth is, most of the time, the world doesn't notice him. His boss only cares about results. His friends might joke around, but rarely acknowledge his effort. And even his family may take his role for granted. But when you step in and make him feel significant in a way others don't, everything changes. It's not about showering him with praise or inflating his ego. It's about showing that you actually see him. When he does something thoughtful, you notice it. When he shares his dreams, you remember them. When he pushes through a tough day, you acknowledge the strength it takes. That moment makes him feel like, she gets me, she sees the part of me the world ignores, and that is addictive. Because here's the secret. Men don't stay for beauty. They stay for the feeling they get when they're around you. And significance is the deepest feeling you can give. When he feels that with you, he doesn't just want to be near you. He starts to fear losing you, because the world out there can't replace what you make him feel. Playfulness is one of the most underestimated forces in attraction, and yet it's the very thing that can turn a simple interaction into something unforgettable. Think about it. Life is heavy. We're all walking around carrying stress, deadlines, responsibilities, and worries. Most conversations people have every day are functional, transactional, or serious. But when you bring playfulness into the mix, you become a breath of fresh air in a world that feels suffocating. It doesn't mean you have to be the funniest person in the room or constantly cracking jokes. It's about the energy you bring. It's that mischievous smile when you tease him, the way you turn an ordinary moment into a spark of fun, the way you can laugh at yourself and invite him to do the same. That energy makes him associate you with joy, with lightness, with freedom. And joy is not just attractive, it's addictive. When a man realizes that being around you makes his problems feel smaller and his world feel brighter, he doesn't want to let that go. He starts craving your energy, looking for excuses to be near you, because every time he leaves, he feels the contrast between the world's weight and the lightness you bring. That's when playfulness becomes your superpower. It makes you unforgettable, not just in his mind, but in his emotions. The most irresistible quality you can bring to a relationship is emotional independence. It's the quiet confidence that says, I choose to be here, but I don't need to be here to feel whole. That energy is magnetic because most people live on the opposite end. They attach their happiness to someone else, and in doing so, they hand over their power. But when a man meets a woman who radiates fulfillment in her own life, it changes everything. He doesn't feel like you're clinging to him for validation, and that makes your attention infinitely more valuable. When you laugh, when you give him your time, when you choose to spend a moment with him, he knows it's because you want to, not because you have to. That choice is what makes him addicted, because he realizes she's complete without me, but she still picks me. And here's the paradox: when you don't need him, that's exactly when he feels he can't live without you. Because independence doesn't create distance, it creates respect. It makes him rise to your level, it makes him want to earn his place in your life. And once he tastes that rare combination of freedom and connection, he doesn't just want you. He feels like nothing else will ever compare to you. Love on its own is powerful, but love without joy can start to feel heavy. What truly sets you apart is when you're not just someone he cares about, but someone who makes his world brighter. Think about it, anyone can offer affection, anyone can say the right words, but not everyone can bring genuine joy into someone's life. That's rare, and the truth is, joy lingers longer than passion, because passion can fade, but the memory of how you made him feel stays. When he laughs with you, when he feels lighter because of you, he begins to associate you with the best parts of his life. That's when you stop being just a partner and start becoming a source of happiness he doesn't want to lose. And it's not about being positive all the time or pretending life is perfect. It's about creating moments that remind him life can still be fun, still be beautiful, even when things aren't easy. He may meet women who are attractive, who are intelligent, who even love him deeply, but if they don't bring that spark of joy, something feels incomplete. With you, he doesn't just feel loved, he feels alive. And that is the difference between someone he likes and someone he can't imagine living without. There's something incredibly powerful about a woman who walks into a room, and you can tell her happiness isn't dependent on who's standing next to her. She radiates fulfillment. She has her own passions, her own circle, her own sense of meaning. That kind of emotional independence creates an energy that is almost impossible to ignore. Because when your world is already full, a man realizes that your attention is not something he's entitled to. It's something he has to earn. And that changes the dynamic completely. Suddenly, he's not dealing with someone who needs him to feel complete. He's with someone who is already complete and still chooses him. That choice carries far more weight than any kind of dependence ever could. It makes every smile you give, every moment you share, feel like a gift instead of a guarantee. The beauty of this is that independence doesn't create distance. It creates respect. It shows him you are not there because you fear being alone. You are there because you see value in what you share. And that realization is what keeps him invested, because deep down he knows that if you're fulfilled without him, then the fact you're letting him in is the highest compliment he could ever receive. That's when he starts fighting to keep his place in your world, because he knows it's a privilege, not a possession. Confidence is one of the most attractive qualities in the world, and the absence of it is one of the fastest ways to kill attraction. A man doesn't become addicted to someone who constantly doubts herself, who needs reassurance every 5 minutes, or who shrinks to make herself smaller so he'll feel bigger. What pulls him in is the energy of someone who knows her value, who stands tall in her own skin, and who doesn't apologize for existing. When you're confident, you don't chase validation, you set the standard. You're not waiting for him to tell you that you're beautiful. You already carry yourself like you know it. You're not waiting for him to tell you that you're worthy. You've already decided that for yourself. And that certainty is magnetic, because it removes the pressure from him to constantly prop you up. Instead of being drained by neediness, he's fueled by your strength. Here's the paradox: when you don't need constant validation, he actually gives you more of it. Why? Because confidence inspires admiration. It makes him want to tell you how amazing you are, not because you're begging for it, but because he can't help but notice. And the truth is, a confident woman doesn't just attract attention, she commands respect. That's the difference between someone who is liked in the moment and someone who becomes unforgettable. Here's the thing most people don't realize: what keeps a man truly hooked isn't just one beautiful quality you show. It's the balance between them. Because if you lean too far into one without the other, the magic disappears. Imagine someone who gives endless significance to a man, always praising him, always showing him love, but never showing independence. At first he might enjoy the attention, but over time it starts to feel heavy. He begins to think, she needs me more than she wants me. And the very thing that was supposed to create closeness ends up pushing him away. Now imagine the opposite. You're so independent, so self-sufficient, so untouchable, that he never feels like he matters. He admires your strength, but he doesn't feel any space in your life for him to contribute. He doesn't feel like he can win with you, like there's no way to make an impact. That's when a man starts thinking, she doesn't need me at all, why am I here? Independence without warmth creates distance. The truth is, attraction lives in the middle ground. It's when you can make him feel significant, but without sacrificing your own value. It's when you bring playfulness, but you can also go deep. It's when you love wholeheartedly, but you never abandon yourself in the process. That's balance, and balance is what keeps him addicted, because balance keeps the relationship exciting. One moment he feels your warmth and your affection, the next moment he sees your strength and your boundaries. It's like a dance, leaning in, then pulling back just enough to remind him that your world doesn't revolve around him. And that rhythm creates desire. Too much closeness without space, and things feel suffocating. Too much distance without closeness, and things feel cold. But when you strike the balance, it feels irresistible. Here's what balance looks like in practice. When he does something thoughtful, you let him know you appreciate it, but you don't fall apart when he doesn't. You enjoy being with him, you laugh with him, you share yourself with him. But you also go out with your friends, chase your passions, and invest in your own life. You give him love, but you never stop giving yourself love too. Men become addicted when they feel both the comfort of your presence and the fear of your absence. He knows you're there, but he also knows you could walk away if he stopped showing up. That tension, that mix of safety and challenge, is what keeps him leaning in. It's not about playing games. It's not about pretending you don't care. It's about genuinely living in a way where you value him, but you also value yourself enough to never let the scale tip too far in one direction. Balance is beautiful because it makes you unpredictable. He never quite feels like he has you completely figured out. Some days you're his soft place to land. Other days you're the fire that pushes him to rise higher. And that unpredictability is intoxicating, because men don't become addicted to routine. They become addicted to the emotional variety that only balance can bring. So remember, it's not about being perfect. It's about being whole. It's about being a woman who can care deeply without losing herself, who can laugh freely without losing depth, who can give love without begging for it in return. That's the kind of balance that makes him look at you and think, I can't get enough of her. I don't just want her, I need her in my life. Scarcity is one of the most powerful forces in attraction, and yet most people misunderstand it. They think scarcity means pulling away, ignoring him, or playing hard to get. But true scarcity isn't about pretending. You don't have to manufacture it. It comes naturally when you have a full life. When your time, your energy, your attention are not endlessly available, they automatically become more valuable. Think about it like this. If something is everywhere, if it's easy to get, people stop appreciating it. They take it for granted. But if something is rare, if it's not given out freely, suddenly it feels precious. The same is true with you. If every text, every call, every request from him is answered instantly, he doesn't feel the weight of your presence because he never has to miss it. But when he knows that your time is limited, when he sees that you don't drop everything just to be at his side, he begins to treasure the moments he does have with you. It's not about being cold. It's not about withholding affection. It's about showing that your life is already full. You have passions, you have commitments, you have a world outside of him. That world doesn't disappear just because he came along. And that's what makes him lean in, because he realizes that every moment with you has to be earned. Every smile you give, every piece of attention you share, is something he can't just assume. It's something he values because it's not infinite. Here's the beautiful paradox. The less you make yourself overly available, the more he wants to make himself available to you. He starts planning, he starts chasing, he starts investing more because he doesn't want to miss out. And that's when scarcity stops being a game. It becomes a natural result of you living fully, loving yourself, and refusing to shrink your world for the sake of one person. When you embody that, he can't help but see you as rare. And rarity is what makes him addicted, because deep down, we all know that the things we can't easily replace are the things we fight hardest to keep. Consistency is where attraction transforms into something deeper, something lasting. Anyone can impress for a night. Anyone can turn on the charm, say the right things, or create a spark in the beginning. But what makes someone truly unforgettable is when those behaviors, the significance you give him, the playfulness you bring, the independence you radiate don't just show up once in a while. They show up over and over again. Think about it like this. If you only ever give him glimpses of your best self, he won't trust it. He'll think, is this who she really is? Or is this just the version she's putting on for me right now? What makes a man addicted isn't a performance. It's knowing that who you are on your best day is who you are most days. And that doesn't mean you have to be perfect. It means you're authentic. It means the kindness, the strength, the fun, the love you offer, they're not a mask, they're your truth. When you're consistent, you create safety. He knows what to expect with you, and that makes him relax into the connection. Because deep down, every man is asking, if I give my heart here, will it be safe? Your consistency answers that question for him without words. And safety doesn't kill passion, it makes passion sustainable. It makes him want to keep investing because he doesn't feel like he's gambling with his emotions. And here's the part people forget. Consistency is sexy, not because it's boring, but because it builds trust. And trust allows desire to grow deeper. A man doesn't become addicted to chaos. He becomes addicted to the woman who lights him up while also grounding him, the woman who excites him while also making him feel secure. That's what consistency does. It takes all the beautiful behaviors you've shown him and turns them from fleeting sparks into a fire he never wants to see burn out. When you bring all of these pieces together, when you make him feel significant, when you infuse joy and playfulness into his world, when you hold your independence with quiet confidence, when you give just enough scarcity to keep him on his toes, and when you stay consistent so he can trust what he feels, you create something that's almost impossible to walk away from. Because any one of these behaviors can attract him, but the combination is what makes him addicted. It's like a perfect recipe. One ingredient on its own might taste good, but when you blend them together, the flavor becomes unforgettable. He doesn't just feel desired, he feels alive. He doesn't just feel entertained. He feels safe. He doesn't just feel chosen. He feels challenged to be his best self. That balance of comfort and excitement, of freedom and closeness, of love and independence, is what makes him think, I could search the world and I still wouldn't find this again. And that's the point. He's not addicted to a single action or one magical line you said or one moment of chemistry. He's addicted to the experience of you, the way you make him feel seen, the way you remind him life can be fun, the way you don't need him but still choose him, the way you're consistent enough to be trusted but surprising enough to keep him guessing. That cocktail of emotions is rare, and once a man finds it, he knows he's found something extraordinary. That's when he stops wondering if you're the one to date and starts fearing what life would feel like without you. That's when attraction transforms into devotion. And that's when he becomes truly addicted, not to the idea of you, but to the reality of you, because the reality is better than anything he could have imagined. So when you think about what really makes a man stay, what makes him obsessed, what makes him addicted, it isn't the games, it isn't pretending, and it definitely isn't about losing yourself to win him. It's about becoming the kind of woman who embodies all of these beautiful behaviors naturally. The woman who can love deeply without needing, who can laugh freely without fear, who can give significance without losing her own, who can live fully with or without him, but still chooses him. That's the woman he can't stop thinking about. That's the woman he brags about, fights for, and never wants to risk losing. Because at the end of the day, true attraction isn't built in one moment. It's built in how you consistently make someone feel. And when you give him the rare gift of significance, joy, independence, balance, and trust, you don't just capture his attention, you capture his heart in a way that feels impossible to replace.